Eddie V here at NAMM 2019 with KUCR, standing here with Sam Welch of Welch Tuning Systems. You did something pretty innovative with drums. Me as a drummer, I'm very impressed. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on?
Absolutely. So no more drum key, no more tension rods. One point of adjustment tunes both heads of the drum at the same time. Can I show you how it works?
Please.
So if you see this tensioner right here, this is your point of adjustment for the whole drum.
How did this idea come to be? Like, how did you come up with this?
Out of necessity. You know, I'm a working drummer, so I'm playing in a lot of different clubs. I'm just really frustrated with trying to tune to the room and not having enough time to do so. You know, so many hours wasted trying to tune. And then you get under the hot stage lights, and the drums warm up and they change, and you're just stuck with that the whole show. So I was just, you know, looking for a solution to that, and that's how this came about.
How did you have this knowledge or this idea that this little zigzag method? I mean, I've seen them on this style of tuning more or less on some South American drums where you're pulling the cloth down and it's kind of, you know, pulling one side and making the other side loose. So I get it, but this is very unique.
Yeah, so, well, obviously inspired by old rope drums and the combination of new technology. Before I started this company, I actually worked as a blacksmith. So, you know, I've been working with metal in artistic and functional ways for a long time. So the physics just kind of clicked for me. You know, it's like back in the day, they didn't have this technology. You know, but now when we have, you know, wonderful die casting capabilities and machining capabilities, you know, I basically took that old idea of the rope drums and mixed it with, you know, new technology.
For the drummer out there that may be thinking that it can only go so high or so low, I mean, what do you have to say about that in terms of the tuning mechanism?
So the tuning mechanism, everything is overbuilt. And I think that's for me, a blacksmith. I like to build things strong, you know. I'm a working drummer. I wanted to build a reliable system. So the cable is extremely strong. You're going to rip your heads apart long before the cable. You know, the tension, I mean, everything is overbuilt. So you can go through the entire range of that drum shell without any problems at all.
So when you're actually tuning with the key and you're twisting, what is happening?
So essentially what's happening, it's pulling on this cable, and that's cinching the entire drum down. So you're pulling the cable, and that goes through the pulleys. And in a pulley system, its natural place to be is in equalized force, you know? So, you know, with a pulley, you're gonna have the same tension on either side of each pulley, you know? So it just equalizes around the whole drum.
And this mechanism, is it applicable to any drum or is it for these drums right here?
Well, the beauty of this system is you don't need all the holes in the shell anymore. You don't need all those casings. So instead of coming out with a retrofit, we actually are launching the Artistry Series drums, which is our house brand of drums, 100% maple, made in the USA, high quality shells, but they don't have all the holes anymore, you know? So they're very specific to this tuning system.
I think as a drummer, and I like to play a lot of folkloric style drums, a lot of times it's just the shell itself, and that sound without anything being drilled into it, I mean, I think it does matter. I think it does affect the sound. So when it comes to this now, the only thing that's being screwed into the shell is the tuning mechanism itself?
That's right. Yeah, and then you've got, you know, you've got your floor tom legs or your bass drum spurs, but you're getting rid of 90% of the holes drilled in every shell. You know, if you think a snare drum, you know, could have, you know, 2 holes per casing, you know, 40 casings, that's like 80 holes in the shell. 4 holes per drum. That's it for our system.
It's just now it's just solid shell. The sound's doing what it does. When it comes to the snare, does it the snare, turning the monitor off is at all compromised?
So it works just like your normal snare. It's a standard snare throw off. It works the same way.
Can we hear a little bit of the kick drum? I'm curious. Because it's got the system in it.
And you can tune it the same way.
Tune it the same way. Let's see it. What's the for a drummer looking to buy a set? What's the approximate retail?
So actually, we just launched on Kickstarter today. So we're offering these drums for cheaper than they'll ever be in retail. So if you go to our Kickstarter campaign and search for Welch Tuning Systems, you can pre-order these drums at a huge discount. Once these hit retail, you'll be looking at right around $1,200 for the snare drums. The 3-piece kits will probably be in the $3,500 range because these are high-quality shells, high-quality hardware. And then for the 4.4 series behind us, that's going to be in the $5,000 range. So again, check us out on Kickstarter because it's going to be cheaper than it ever will be in retail.